Spring 1848 Europe rose to its feet. Dissatisfied populations revolted across all European states in events that would later become known as the Springtime of Nations. Serbs in the Habsburg monarchy sought to fight for their rights, and we will see how. In 1790, at the assembly in Timisoara, Serbs demanded an autonomous province on the territory of present-day Vojvodina, where they formed a majority, especially in the cities. By 1848, with the awakening of nations across Europe, including in the Austrian Empire, peoples such as the Hungarians, Serbs, and Croats within the Habsburg monarchy began expressing their demands. The Hungarians laid claim to territories where they were not the majority, which clashed with the interests of the Serbs and Croats. Due to widespread public dissatisfaction and Hungarian attempts to introduce summary courts, Svetozar Militic sharply criticized the passivity of church dignitaries toward the uprising. Although Metropolitan Josif Rajačić was initially reserved and aligned with the Hungarian government, strong pressure from the people and numerous delegations forced him to act. In the end, despite his loyalty to the court and his advanced age, Rajačić agreed to convene the Serbian Assembly. On the 13th of May, 1848, in Sremski Karlovci, the May Assembly of the Serbian people began. At this assembly, Metropolitan Josif Rajačić was proclaimed Patriarch, and Stevan Šupljikac was chosen as Vojvoda, marking the proclamation of the Serbian Vojvodina. The decision to appoint Šupljikac as Vojvoda caught him in Italy, so military command was initially taken over by Đorđe Stratimirović. The Serbs then traveled to Vienna, led by the Patriarch. On their way, they met with Ban Josip Jelačić in Zagreb, where they agreed on many issues and decided to cooperate in the struggle for the liberation of the South Slavs. Emperor assessed that the conclusions of the assembly were influenced by the Principality of Serbia, and therefore rejected them. Only 4 days later, on July 11, the Hungarian authorities decided to crush the Serbian uprising by force. The first major clash occurred on July 14 near Sentamaš, a place that would later be known as Srbobran. The Serbs, entrenched in fortified positions, managed to repel the Hungarian forces. After this, the Serbian Patriarch criticized Ban Josip Jelačić for his passivity. The Austrian court removed the Patriarch from his position as administrator of the Karlovci Metropolitanate because he threatened to mobilize the border guards and call upon all Slavic brothers to join the struggle. In August, the emperor hardened his stance toward the Hungarians, demanding the return of the military frontier under Austrian authority, along with other concessions which the Hungarians refused to accept. Acting on signals from Vienna, Ban Jelačić declared war on the Hungarians on September 11. The Serbs again repelled Hungarian forces at Sentamaš in August and on September 21. From then on, the place was called Srbobran, Serb defender, after its main defensive trench. However, the Serbian army lacked unified command. It was led jointly by the Austrian Ferdinand Mayrhofer, Patriarch Rajačić, and Đorđe Stratimirović, while Vojvoda Šupljikac only arrived from Italy in September. Volunteers from the Principality of Serbia provided significant support, led by Vojvoda Stevan Knićanin. Even Montenegro intended to send 2,000 soldiers, but this was impossible due to Ottoman-controlled territory. The Hungarians still held numerical superiority due to the size of the territory and better organization of the rebellion. However, in the autumn, at the urging of Lajos Kossuth, they attempted to reduce the number of fronts and offered the Serbs a form of truce, including equality, religious and language freedom, a patriarchate, and a separate ban in Slavonia equal to the ban of Croatia. With the change of emperor and the arrival of Franz Josef, the status of the Vojvoda and Patriarch was confirmed by imperial decree, but other issues were left for post-war settlement. The Hungarians were now dissatisfied with the change of monarch. The Serbian army at that time numbered around 21,000 soldiers with about 100 cannons. These were mostly experienced border guards and volunteers from the Principality of Serbia. Vojvoda Šupljikac unexpectedly died in late October, so command was unofficially taken over by Ferdinand Mayrhofer and formally by Kuzman Todorović. The Principality of Serbia soon recalled its volunteers. Hungarian General Perchel, in late March and early April 1849, captured Sombor, Centavan, Sirig, Senta, Verbas, Becce, and finally Srbobran on April 3. He was defeated only at Velovo. Srbobran was completely destroyed and burned, and the population was killed or fled. Around 5,000 soldiers and civilians died. After the withdrawal of volunteers, the Serbian army remained weak and demoralized. The Hungarians were in full momentum, and many Serbian units disbanded. By late May and early June, almost the entire Banat had fallen. The Serbs held out only in Šajkaška. Novi Sad was heavily bombarded from Petrovaradin on June 12 and almost completely destroyed. Many towns and settlements suffered greatly in the war, creating a large number of refugees. The Patriarch turned for help to the Russian consul in Belgrade, saying, "God and Great Russia are our only patrons and possible saviors." Count Andrassy and Ilija Garashanin failed to reach an agreement in Belgrade, so the situation did not improve significantly. Garashanin, knowing that Russia would soon intervene in Austria, did not seriously continue negotiations. This also happened when the emperor called on the Russian Tsar Nicholas I, who suppressed the Hungarian uprising in the decisive Battle of Vilagos on the 13th of August, 1849. The Hungarians who failed to escape, mostly into the Ottoman Empire, were executed in Arad. By the Imperial patent of the 18th of November, 1849, the emperor established a new crown land, the Voivodeship of Serbia and the Banat of Temeshwar. Although it appeared to be a success, this act was carefully calculated. The military frontier was not incorporated into the Voivodeship, which meant that Serbs in the Principality of Serbia had no direct connection with those in Vojvodina. In addition, certain regions with Romanian majorities, such as Eastern Banat, were included, along with areas with significant German and Hungarian populations. This form of administration lasted until 1860, when, by the December patent, the emperor abolished the voivodeship. In the following decades, the Serbs would no longer revolt, but instead organize into political parties until the end of World War I, when in 1918, they would finally unite with Serbia.